America is football. Football is America.
Football is America. And if you don't like it, you can kiss your candy ass off a particular moment in time. I don't give a damn.
They're calling
Oh my God.
No.
You love this.
It's 30 to 27.
No!
Chiefs win. Chiefs win 30 to 20.
All right. Once again, the script writers are undefeated. Jared Goff is going to face his former team at home. I made a video about it. It's on YouTube. Go ahead and check it out. I had a comment. Somebody commented. He was like, "Are you sure this is Rams Lions?" Yeah, he's like, "There's a lot of Lions in here." And he's like, "Hey, jackass!" I didn't say that, but you guys won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, right? Like,
happy.
The Lions haven't been here in 30 years. Like, yes, the Lions are the better story, 100%. The Lions, they came into this season with playoff expectations, and they had the expectations to win the NFC North, and they did both. And yes, at times the Lions, their stock kind of fell when they lost to the Ravens, and I think they had a loss to the Seahawks in there. They almost lost to the Chargers, then they lost to the Bears after, and I was like, what's wrong with the Lions? And then they decided to get right against my Broncos, and then they continued. They continued to win.
He's not mad about it at all.
No, not at all. But I look at this Lions team, and I think, man, I love everything about this team. I love that they look like the city that they play in. Like, it is like a blue collar, hardworking factory, cold, tough, grit, callous, just buzzwords.
Yeah.
Like,
buzzwords,
Ford,
toughness, gritty.
Yeah, it's all of that. And on the other side, here comes the Rams with one of the best play callers in the National Football League, with two weapons that would be wide receiver ones on any team, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, who's been outstanding. And not only that, they're running the football with Kyren Williams better than almost any team's running the football these last couple of weeks. The wise guys are in on the Rams. They're saying the Rams will probably win, but they're taking the Lions +7. There's a lot of big money coming in on the Rams because Dan Campbell hasn't been here before. Sean McVey has. There's a chance that Jared Goff has a bad game, whereas Matthew Stafford probably doesn't. And look, I do think this is going to be a really good game, but the Lions have David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. The one thing that just crushes this team, and they should have maybe not played their starters last week, is Sam Laporta, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. But Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to have to step up. Reynolds is going to have to step up. They have other players that are going to be having to step up. And if there's one thing I know, is that Dan Campbell's going to have these boys ready to fucking go to war. And you talked about the atmosphere in Houston hosting a playoff game with a rookie quarterback. Oh God, just go to Detroit for this game. Could you imagine 30 years? Dude, that's where I made a joke about tearing up on the video I made. But when at the very end, when he goes, I waited 30 years for this. Thank you. Dude, I got chills right now everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what it's like to wait 30 years for anything? I know you do. But you'd be surprised how many people make fun of our dedication to our sport or dedication to our team. And I'm going to quote Jimmy Fallon on Fever Pitch when he got into a fight with his girlfriend. And he said, do you know what it's like to love something for 30 years? How about 20? How about 10?
Yeah.
And it's really something that only a diehard fan can really relate to. And they're going to be 80,000+ fans that have been waiting. Maybe not all of them, but a large portion of them have been waiting 3 decades for this moment. So you can't even put that kind of energy into words. Like, it's going to be it's almost magic. I think it's going to be a magical environment. And then the whole Rams and Matthew Stafford thing, like that is just icing on the cake. But Detroit hosting a playoff game is something I thought would happen. And I knew then, and I know now that I'm taking the Lions to win this game at home in front of their fans. And this train, this Lions, this not the same old Lions story. It keeps going next week. And it's gonna be remarkable depending on what happens next week. But we won't even go over scenarios. All they got to do right now is take care of business, and this is not an easy game. The Rams are a lot. Dude, I'm hearing dark horse Super Bowl NFC. Yeah, because they trust Matthew Stafford, because they trust Sean McVay, because they have two elite wide receivers, and they have Aaron Donald. Like, yeah, they could definitely make a run, but they're gonna have to come to Detroit to get this one. And I think Matthew Stafford's not going to get the welcome that he thinks he's going to get. Of course, they're going to cheer, but they're not going to win. Not the Rams.
Yeah, 100%. And Mythic is going to love this segment of the Lions Rams because I'm also taking the Lions to win this one at home. I'm taking them to win 30-28. It's going to be a very, very close game. Mythic Lions Nation, everyone who is a Detroit Lions fan, Kyle said it, 30 years of just grinding, grit, just wanting to win and wanting that so bad that you finally have it after 30 years. You're going to host a playoff game in Detroit. You guys deserve it. You guys deserve every bit of it. I lived in Michigan for a bit, went up to Detroit pretty often, and you could see that. You can absolutely see that. Just the one, like I would be walking down the street, Lions gear on. No matter what, Lions fans are some of the most faithful fans I know in their down years. 0-16. It didn't matter. You're still wearing Lions gear. You're still supporting your team. And that all of that support, all of that hope, all of that love has come to this wild card game that you're hosting in Detroit, and the Lions are going to win this. Why are the Lions going to win this? You mentioned it already, Kyle. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff. All these guys together, even their defensive end, I can't remember his name right now. Aiden Hutchinson. Michigan born and bred Aiden Hutchinson, who said, we have a standard. And if you are a Lions fan or a Rams fan, go check out the video we have on YouTube on our page, because that is going to give you chills. We have a standard now in Detroit, and that standard is what they have set these last couple of years with Dan Campbell and all these players. They're going to kill it. Sam Laporta, losing him is huge, but like you said, you have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs and all these other guys in offense who will love to step up and would love to get all those catches and are more than capable of taking those passes to touchdowns, of running up the score on this Rams team, of running up the score on Matthew Stafford, who gave his all for this Detroit Lions team. And while they should absolutely pay him his homage, give him his roses, they want to beat him on Sunday. And that's exactly what's going to happen. The Rams are coming into this game completely battle-tested. Sean McVay has been to the Super Bowl twice, has won once with his current quarterback in Matthew Stafford. But they have a couple of veterans from that team, right? You got Aaron Donald and you got Cooper Kupp, but they bring in the second youngest roster into this game. Look, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, amazing rookies. You're talking about second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth rounders that are doing amazing things for this team, because the LA Rams had fucked them picks to get that Super Bowl, and yet they are finding these diamonds in the dirt in Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams, and they're doing amazing. Now look,
great scouting team over there.
Yeah, great scouting team. And if you told me straight up, who's going to, without knowing anything that happened this season, who's going to win, Sean McVay or Dan Campbell and the Lions? I would have said Sean McVay, but you see how well this Lions team plays. You see the passion and how they play this football game, and you believe in it. You love it. You start to almost be a fan of them. And I think that's what this Lions team is going for, and they're killing it with that. The Rams rank in mid tier in most defensive categories, but the highest rank they have is in their opposing pass completion percentage. What Jared Goff needs to do, and I think he can do it in this game, is overcome that. If he's gonna get that pass completion, if it's gonna be bad because of that defense, and he throws an interception, gets a bunch of incompleted passes, he's got to take that Joe Flacco mindset and be like, you know what, win or go home. I'm still gonna sling it. I'm still gonna get it to my wide receivers. I'm still gonna go deep, right? Like, it does not matter. He has to be able to go over that hurdle, and if he does that, Dan Campbell and Jared Goff and this Lions team is going into the divisional round with plenty of heat, with plenty of momentum, and they're going to look really good doing it, man. I've got the Lions winning 30-28 in a very close game. Detroit Lions fans, you guys are going to the divisional round, baby. Divisional round for the Lions fans.
And one thing that is important to mention is last year we had Lions on Hard Knocks, right? And the Lions were kind of like the NFL's darling in a way, but in an underdog way, not like a Patrick Mahomes way, right? In like a villain, but a good villain. It's so hard to explain.
The anti-hero almost.
Yeah, like
yeah.
They speak, like they play for everyone that's been slept on, it feels like, right? Like they're the voice of the unheard. They are the workings man's team. They are the unappreciated. They're the unloved. And yeah, a lot of that's changed. But what I want to say was that whole first year or second year, right after Hard Knocks, they went 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, 0-5, 0-6. And that is exactly what my video shows if you watch it.
Yeah.
Now, everybody had this kind of belief then too, right? So I only bring that up to mention that even a good story can end badly. Even all the right emotions and the right feelings can twist and turn, and you're like, man, that's not how this was supposed to end. That's football. Football is fucking cruel. It does not care who you're going for, who you're cheering for, what the backstory is, and neither do the Rams. So I'm buying into that story, but I'm willing to admit that I'm buying into the story. I like I'm going with the emotional story of the Lions, knowing full and well that alone is not going to be enough. But I'm going to go back to what Dan Campbell said at Hard Knocks. And what he said while he was on Hard Knocks is probably exactly what he's going to say before they take the field on Sunday. And his question to the team was, who are we? Who are we? And they're going to answer that on the field. And that is going to be the game, dude. That is going to be
I'm so fucking hyped for these playoffs, dude.
I am too, dude. I want to go into the locker room and fucking just start like I don't know, a speech. I don't know, dude.
Dodgeball. Let's start slapping each other.
Fucking go in there. Yeah, just. I was thinking more like realistic, but that's funny. I was thinking more like Dwayne Johnson and Gridiron Gang, but this is gonna be an incredible game, man. And I think if the Lions don't win this game, it's not just Lions fans that are going to be upset. I feel like America is going to be let down. Like, yeah, the Rams fans are going to be happy, but I think that if you did a poll, I would say like probably 85% of America wants the Lions to win this game. And rightfully so. It's a great story, and it's been a long time. And I think the players, they deserve success. And I'll say this last part. We mentioned, is it a loss for the season? And some people said no, they clinched the division for the first time in 30 years. No, the season is not a loss. But two things can be true. The season is not a loss, but it is also a major letdown if they get bounced in the first round. Make no mistake about it. Nobody is going to leave that Lions stadium if they lose telling themselves, at least we went. Nobody, because that's just not the way it goes. No. Especially against a Rams team that is not, they're not playing the Cowboys. They're not playing the 49ers. They got to take care of business or it will be considered a letdown. That's just the way it is. Like the expectations, they go up as the performance does. And they need to, I'll say, after they win this game, if they win this game, they can lose next week and the vibes will still be high, but they can't drop this one. Not in front of their fans. They waited 30 years for this.
Yes.
And what did they wait 30 years for? We'll find out.
I love that. I love that. And you're right. And one thing that I love about sports fandom, mostly NFL, right? And I think Bill mentioned it earlier, right? There are some bars who are not letting you in if you have a Stafford Lions jersey. They're not doing it. And I love that. As a Bears fan who hates the Packers with just a passion, and I have to bite my tongue every time I say good things about the Packers, right? I love that pettiness in sports. That's what makes us fans. That's what this is all about, is living and dying with your team, living and dying for 30 years to get a playoff game for Lions fans. And Rams fans are going to hate hearing this, but goddamn, what a story it is for the Lions. And when this happens, when you have the almost lovable loser moniker to yourself, which the Lions have had for a long time now, you get to this success and it's just like, hell yeah, this is a great story. And like you said, they can't do this. They can't lose. They can't let the fans down in this game. And if they win this one and they go into the next one and you know, a loss happens, as a Lions fan, you are still like, wow, I'm going to be mad and sad about this loss. But the next day or the next week or the next month, you're going to be like, I love the direction that my Detroit Lions are heading because of where we have been and where we are going.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And the Lions are the 19th in rushing yards, or in opponent yards per game. Ooh. So watch out for that a little bit. Like we're in the bottom half at 19, and the Rams, that's their thing, right? Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, like there will be points scored in this game. This game is going to be played in a dome, 75 degrees, no wind. And and there will be points. How is the Detroit Lions defense going to hold up against this offense, especially with a real running threat, which just emerged halfway through the year? Like they had Cam Akers, and they were like, oh, Cam Akers is a Viking now, and then we're like, oh, they're going with this guy, and then all of a sudden this guy scored like a touchdown in every single game since he took over. So look,
ridiculous.
We talk about Jared Goff in this offense and compensating for not having Sam Laporta, but I really do think if the Lions are going to win this game, it's going to be their defense. It's going to be Aiden Hutchinson with a forced fumble. And that is going to be a scene to remember, because Matthew Stafford, his problem was that he was so good that he had the Lions like 7-10, 7-9 every year. And with a couple exceptions both ways. But
one playoffs.
When Aiden Hutchinson strip sacks Matthew Stafford, just a moment to realize what we're actually looking at. We're looking at Matthew Stafford getting traded to the Rams, which allowed the Lions to be bad enough to get the first overall pick and draft Aiden Hutchinson, who will now, 2 years later, strip sack the former quarterback.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Let's go. I love that. That is just the circle of life, brother. Okay, do you got anything else on that game?
No, go Lions. Let's go.
Go Lions.